Hi everyone, it's me, Allie. How are you all going? It is the next installment of Reading in My 30s, where I read books that I never read growing up, but are really important for a lot of people and were like fundamental to people's like reading experiences. I'm talking, His Dark Materials, the same level as like Hunger Games and Twilight. I'm going to say that. Harry Potter, those types of books. My first episode of this series, I read His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman for the first time ever, and it was incredible. And so I wanted to do another series, and I have to be honest with you, I've watched all the movies. I've watched the most recent Disney Plus show adaptation of this series as well, and I've always loved every iteration, but I've never really read the series. And by never really read, I have read the first book. Now, what I'm talking about is the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Rick Riordan. Riordan? Let me know. So I've got the first 5 books in this series. I purchased them all because I couldn't not. I have read the first book years and years and years ago. I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I never continued the series because I just didn't. But I loved Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and so I thought this would be perfect. And then the TV show was out, and I was absolutely loving it. So I thought this would be a really good episode to do. However, I do know that there is a 6th book in this series. It's the Chalice of the Gods, but it is advertised as same hero, different adventure. So what I'm going to do when I embark on reading the Rick Riordan universe, I'm going to read them in publication order. I think that's the best way to go, because I was should I read the 6th book? But that only came out recently, and it's a new adventure, and I think it might spoil other things that have happened within all the books in this world. So I'm just going to stick with the first 5. Let me know if I can read the 6th book and not be spoiled for any of the other books. There's a few other different series within this world. So there will be interspersed throughout this series, I will be coming back to the Percy Jackson world and the Rick Riordan universe. So that's always fun. But I thought I definitely need to start and finish the first 5 books. I'm so excited. I am so excited. So what I'm going to read in this vlog, and I've already started, I'm going to reread Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, Book 1. Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Titan's Curse. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Battle of the Labyrinth. Also love this colour. And then the final book that I'm reading is The Last Olympian. So I haven't actually read any of the blurbs because I don't want to be spoiled. That is what we are doing. And I'm so excited. I'm ready to be heartbroken and just back in this world. I forgot how much I enjoy Percy Jackson's narration. I love his voice. So it's really cool to come back to it. And even though I read this, I think it would have been, 2018, 2019. It had to have been. There's an element of nostalgia to this. I'm just so excited. So excited. The fact that Percy Jackson is 12 when this starts, for some reason is really hilarious to me, because he does all of this and he's 12. I love him. He is a feral little child and he's very precious. So I will update you when I finish my first book. So I finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Again, remember, this is a reread for me because I did read it in 2019. I checked my Notion, reading tracker. I loved it. Like, I forgot how much I loved Percy Jackson's voice and his character. For a 12-year-old, he's such a little shithead, and I absolutely adore him. I adore him. And I loved Annabeth so much more this time around. I don't know why, but I just really did, as well as Grover. Precious, precious children, and I want to protect them at all costs. The scene at the end where Percy goes to Mount Olympus and like confronts Zeus, as well as Poseidon. I don't know what I remember, but it wasn't that. Maybe I'm like confusing the TV show with what I thought happened in the book at the end. But yes, even though I knew it was coming as well with the whole Luke thing, I was still shooketh. Because like you legitimately don't really see it coming. So good. So good. Love it so much. There's not much for me to say about this because I've already read it, but I loved it. And when he sends Medusa's head to Mount Olympus, that is such a bad bitch move. Come on. It is. It's fabulous. Although I do like the change that they made in the TV show about Medusa, whereas in the book it was different. But I think I appreciated it, how it was handled in the series better than how it was handled in the book. But again, you know, retrospect, in hindsight, I loved it so much. I also stand by the fact that this entire book is just like emphasizing the importance of hydration. Like, Percy Jackson is a hydration king. Give that boy a hose, he will literally take over the world. Like, if he had just like a constant source of water, like, yes, there's the ocean, but if he's like in the city, he just needs to carry around a portable hose, I don't know, with like gallons of water in it. He could literally take over the world. And I love that for him. I love how every time he like has water, like, how is he in showers? Like, when he like washes himself, like, does he get all that tingling like demigod power when he's just like washing his hair? Love to know that. When it starts to rain, can you imagine? It's so funny. I forgot that he's like 12 years old, and he's just so fun. It's such a great book. I'm so excited. His love for his mother is one of my favorite aspects of his character. Like, that love that he has for Sally is just so heartwarming and so wholesome. I love seeing the portrayal of a young boy who does not care, who knows how much he loves his mother. You know what I mean? I feel like that's not something that many young boys especially would be very open about. And I just love Percy Jackson being like, yeah, I'm going to do everything to save my fucking mum. Like, I love him. And I love their relationship. And I loved Sally at the end, what she did. She's a queen. But that's all I'm going to say for The Lightning Thief. For the moment, excuse how I look. It's been a day full of anxiety for me. I've had, you know, when you just wake up and you have those days where your anxiety is a bit hectic, a bit everywhere, and nothing really seems to like help calm you. That's been my day today. So that's the reason for this, and the reason why I've been on the couch literally for most of the day. But I am now going to start Sea of Monsters. I'm so excited because I actually haven't read this one. I did watch the movie years ago, so I kind of have a very vague memory of the plot, but honestly, not really. Not really. I don't remember anything. I'm gonna get started. Hi everyone. I look so pale and my nails are atrocious. Today was supposed to be an errand day where I got these off and did all my things that I needed to do, but I got my period and can't do anything. I don't have the energy, the capacity to really leave the house, so that's why I put on my robe, because I need to be cozy. But I wanted to talk to you about Percy Jackson. Oh my god. I finished Sea of Monsters and The Titan's Curse. Let's talk about Sea of Monsters first. So I think I said that I had a very vague memory of what Sea of Monsters is about because I watched the movie. Wow, the movie is definitely very different to the book, isn't it? It really is, isn't it? So I loved it. It's relatively short in comparison to any of the other books in the first 5. I don't know who I'm saying this to. The first 5. And we see Percy meet a boy named Tyson. I love Tyson so much. I'm so terrified. Oh, my hair. I'm so terrified that something bad is going to happen to Tyson in this series. Because he's so precious and he's so gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to hug him and protect him. He is the most wholesome character. He's the most wholesome character. Anyway, and so you see Tyson, you meet him, and it's like an exploration of the dynamics between Percy and Tyson, because like Percy finds something out about Tyson and what that means for him. It's just gorgeous. And you get a bit more of the story pertaining to Annabeth and Talia and Luke, obviously. The whole Sea of Monsters, fascinating. The whole Golden Fleece situation. So, like, it's so surprising to me that this is middle grade. It is some of the best fantasy I've ever read. Like, you don't forget that you're reading about young people, like, obviously. But the way it is written, it's so engaging. It is so wonderful. You are so completely immersed in this story with these characters. You are with them as they are figuring everything out, as they are doing what they think is right. Each character has such a strong understanding of who they are and their values. Maybe they don't necessarily like know themselves, they're still growing up, but they have such a strong sense of values and like what is good and what is not good. And I really love that. I really love that. I don't know, it just makes me feel really good to read about these characters. Sally Jackson, the mum, I adore her. She's the real hero in this series. But I love Percy. He's great. And then, so that's the Sea of Monsters. And then that book ends. Is it that book? It is. That book ends with a cliffhanger. And I'm not going to tell you what the cliffhanger is, but what I find really interesting is Luke's character. Because I don't know if he's necessarily the villain. Like, he's obviously villainous, but I understand where he's coming from and why he thinks the way he is. But I feel like he's also being used and manipulated. And I'm a bit worried about him, but I don't know. I am a bit worried about him. I won't lie. However, don't judge me if he's actually a horrible, terrible person. Which, like, he's done some not very great things. So, I don't know, we'll see about him. But he's a really interesting character. And I really don't think that the series, I think, will. Because Rick Riordan is, like, very much a part of the show. And I think they did a bit better in showing the Luke character. But in the books, I didn't realize like how Luke is a very significant like side character. Like, he is constantly like he's in every book, and there's this like weaving of this overarching plot line pertaining to like what Luke is doing and who him and people on his side are waking up. And I didn't realize that was such a huge part of the series. I honestly thought that it would have been finished by, like, I thought it would be finished, like this plot line would be finished before like the third book. But I love that it's this thing that keeps on growing and is something that is becoming more of like a, oh shit, like it's not just a Percy thing that Percy has to deal with. It's actually like an Olympus thing, like the gods have to also deal. Who the fuck is out there? Fuck. I have never heard that before in my entire life. Someone must have gone on a motorbike. But like, it's like an Olympus thing. And I love how each book it slightly escalates. I really love that. It is just quality writing. It is quality writing. Rick Riordan needs to write adult fantasy. I think he would blow our minds. He would. That's why he's not going to do it, because I don't think we're ready for that. We're not ready for Rick Riordan adult fantasy. Oh my god, it'd be so cool if he would write, like, I don't know, Percy Jackson, like, adult. Like, he's an adult, you know? Anyway, regardless. The Titan's Curse. I read that in a few hours. I couldn't stop reading it. My favorite book in the series so far. What do I say? Again, incredible escalation of like everything in terms of plot, but also in terms of like the characters that we're introduced to. Like the characters that we're introduced to show us how worrying or like how worried some like gods and goddesses are concerning what like is happening with Luke and the army that he's joined. Like it's just, it was so fantastic. And we meet Artemis. Like, it was the first book in this series that I actually cried properly. Like, I've been teary-eyed, but I cried. And if you've read The Titan's Curse, you know. With Zoe. Oh my god. That scene, I was a goner. But it was incredible. Like, the whole Atlas. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So good. Like, there's no words to describe how much I'm loving this series. I can't tell you how it feels to be about to turn 30 in a few months and am falling in love with a series that are for young people. It's just so fantastic. It is so engaging, so immersive. I love Percy as a narrator. He is brilliant. I love his wit, his humor, his sarcasm. He's a little shithead, and that's what makes him such an amazing character to be part of. Oh my god, and the whole D'Angelo's? The fuck? Like, I'm so scared about Nico. Is he... I won't say anything, but I really hope that what I'm predicting about Nico doesn't come true, but I feel like it is, because he like hates Percy at the moment. I can understand why, but he's heartbroken, he is lost, and he hates Percy. So I feel like he is going to be persuaded to like Luke's side. Does Nico get his own, like, do we see him again? Does he get his own story, or does he have, like, is he part of another series, or does he come back? I think he's a really young, he's like what, 8 or 9 years old, and Percy's nearly 16. Holy shit, he's nearly 16. He's growing up just so fast. But I just started reading the 4th book in the series, The Battle of the Labyrinth. I love the covers. The cover artist, Khadija Khatib, did such an incredible job. Like, look at that. This one has started off quite interestingly. Sorry about the noise. Percy went to like an orientation day for a new school because he keeps on getting expelled. It's not his fault. He keeps on getting like chased by bloody monsters. But something happens there and he has to go back to Camp Half-Blood. And when he gets there, he feels slightly discombobulated because like everything's just so different, and it feels like he's been out of the loop for a really long time, even though it hasn't been that long, and no one's really telling him anything. And I just got to the point where Chiron has been like, we need to talk about Grover, and Percy's like, what the fuck? Because Grover's on trial. And I have to say also, the whole Pan thing, because Grover wants to find Pan, I was kind of like, I want it to be like a proper excuse, not a proper excuse, but I hope Pan wasn't just like chilling in the forest to being like, I don't want to meet anyone, I don't want to see anyone, and then leaving all his like peoples fending for themselves and like completely lost and wondering where he is and worried about him. I hope it's actually been like, I'm so sorry I was held hostage or something, I don't know. What I also do like about this series is that there is no hesitation in portraying the gods as they are, as slightly alien, you know what I mean? Like, they're not human at all, and they have a very different the way they approach things is not necessarily not without their own intentions. Sometimes those intentions can be malicious, other times they're like mostly ambiguous, like very grey. So that is really cool to see in a middle grade, and I just love everything that Rick Riordan does. Everything that he's doing is just so freaking cool. I'm going to, I think, spend the next few hours reading because I don't have the energy to really do anything else. Maybe I'll see if I can take off my, like, the SNS on my nails. I have acetone, so we'll see what we can do, because like they're literally atrocious. I had to cut them because it was so bad. Cannot believe that I only have this and the last Olympian to go for this series. It's insane. You better believe that I'm going to be reading the entire Riordan universe this year. I have to. I bloody have to. Good morning, everyone. So, I'm gonna put my glasses on. I finished Curse of the Titans is my favorite, but this was incredible. I loved like more of an inclusion of Nico, because I really love his character, and this was such a great like next installment, if that makes sense. It just really wonderfully follows like the way the story, what's happening with the story, like it just follows it very naturally, and there is still a lot of growth happening, and I just this is so engaging, this is so immersive. It's just everything that you want a fantasy to be. This is what it is. Like, it's just so fantastic. It is so fantastic, and I have only amazing things to say, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm terrified. I really hope book 5 doesn't end on a cliffhanger, because I don't have time to read the entire Riordan universe in the month of April. Okay, I was going to do this slowly, but that's where we're at. I've started The Last Olympian, so let's talk about that. I started it yesterday. Yesterday I had jury duty, so I had to go into the city at like the courts at 9 o'clock and just like wait until my number was called to see if I was going to be on a jury panel. Spoiler alert, I wasn't chosen, so it's a good thing. So I did a lot of work, but I also did some reading, but I stopped myself because I didn't want to finish the entire book. Yesterday, no. So Percy Jackson and The Last Olympian. I am like 100 pages in. Things are really heating up. Like, you just immediately get thrown into this war. Like, it's happening. Nothing is going to delay it. Shit's getting real. Shit is getting real, and I feel so sorry for the Half-Bloods. I feel so sorry for them. My poor darlings, let them be kids. You know, like, as parents, just fucking protect your kids. As like your gods and goddesses, protect your fucking kids. Like, whose fault is it that you keep on fucking procreating? yours. So I'm looking at you, gods and goddesses of the Greek pantheon. It's very annoying. These poor kids, and people are dying, and like, my heart can't take it. My heart can't take it. But it's very interesting. We're getting a bit more background about Luke. And Nico is back. I love Nico. I love him so much. He's just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with him. Like, I don't know. I just really like him. He's easily led, but I really love his character. Percy is still a bad bitch. Like, he is Percy Jackson. You know what I mean? Love him. I like that we saw Poseidon a bit more in the first 100 pages. Like, there's actually a scene where we have a conversation with him, which is great. And what else is great? Everything is great. Everything is great. Annabeth is still going through it, the poor thing. She's, you know, her crush on Percy, it's really affecting her. Percy, I think, has compartmentalized quite a lot because he got told about, you know, the great prophecy. And so he's basically dealing with his own mortality. And I love it. Really bloody love it. I just don't know how it's going to end, and I'm really terrified. I know Percy doesn't die because, like, Rick Riordan came out with Percy Jackson #6. So obviously obviously he doesn't die. And I'm like, the book is literally called The Last Olympian. For some reason, I assumed it was something about Kronos, but Kronos is a Titan. He's not an Olympian. And every time that happens, I always think of, if you've watched Supernatural, in the early seasons, Lilith is in the body of a small child. I just imagine her. So that's funny. I think that's funny. It may not be funny to you, but it's funny to me. But I'm terrified. Oh, you know who I also love? Blackjack, the Pegasus. He's hilarious. Pegasus is hilarious, and I adore him. If he dies. And also, I love Mrs. O'Leary, the hellhound. She's precious. So precious. I swear to God, if she dies. And like when she went to the underworld with Percy and Nico and Cerebrus, the three-headed dog, saw Mrs. O'Leary. And they're like playing. That was so cute. Cerebrus just wants someone to play with him. Okay. Give him a fucking stick. Because my nails are naked. They're naked and I don't like it. And when I don't have nails, like even if it's just like on my natural nails, I start picking my face and my scalp. Like it's an anxiety thing and I can't stop picking. Like you can kind of see, like I've been picking my face because I've had naked nails and I can't stop myself because sometimes I just don't even realize that I'm doing it until I'm like, what the fuck? Like until I realize, which could be a while. And I hate that. So thank God I've got my nail appointment today. So I can finally just like not pick myself. Sometimes having anxiety is like not fun. Who would have thought? Who would have thought about that? Anyway, I have to go now because I want to relax. And then I'll keep you updated. See you soon. So, first things first. I did get my nails done. These are my nails. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? So cute. And I finished book 5. I loved it. Which you knew already because I love this entire series. This 5 stars every single book. But let's talk quickly about The Last Olympian. Without giving you spoilers, I really liked the way everything came together. I really liked how certain things came to fruition. I cried with Luke. That really got me. And the whole like, is it Hermes, like Luke's father, just everything, even the way Rachel's like randomly Rachel's story happens. It's just so good. So good. Nico is one of my favorite characters. Percy was so great. So great. I just loved everything about it. It took me longer to read, I think, because I didn't necessarily want to finish it, because I was too scared. I was expecting a lot more death, I think. And that, like, it happened, like, obviously there was, but I don't know, I just felt like there was going to be more horrible things happen. But that's not to say that there's going to be even more horrible things happen with the rest of the books in the Riordan universe, but for now I'm safe. I also love Tyson. I love Tyson. I love his character. I love his relationship with Percy. I loved that Sally got her own little happy ever after. And so wonderful. And I'm so happy that I read these. So in conclusion, this was a success. It was an absolute success. I gave every book in this series 5 stars. It's made my like April statistics very skewed because I gave all these 5 stars. I loved the experience of it. I am definitely going to be continuing reading within this universe because I need to know what happens with Nico. I need to know more about Talia and like what's going to happen with like Annabeth, and I want to see how Percy grows up, and I want to see what's happening. Just want to see what happens, you know? And even with Rachel, because now who she is, like I just want to know more. I want to know more. And the fact that Percy is just like, this is the deal. You need to change to the gods and the goddesses. I love that he did that. I love that he did that. What an incredible, incredible reading experience. I had so much fun. I loved every second of it. So thank you to Rick Riordan for giving me such immense joy. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me. As always, take care and stay safe. Like, subscribe if you wish to. Happy reading. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye friends.